Hello, my name is Kevin Watson from the Centre for Academic Development at Oxford Brookes, and this video is all about PowerPoint. It's the basics. So if you've never used PowerPoint before and suddenly you find you have to, then keep watching. Okay, let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to do, obviously, is open PowerPoint. And it's worth bearing in mind that there are different versions of PowerPoint floating around. So what you see on the screen might vary depending on whether you're looking at it on a PC or a Mac, or whether you're using the online version. I'm using the online version today just because that's the one that everybody can access. So we'll start a document. I'm going to open my PowerPoint and make a blank presentation. So when you open PowerPoint, the first thing you always want to do is save it with a name that makes sense in a place that makes sense. And you can see at the moment this is called Presentation 1. I'm going to go to the File tab on the left here. On a Mac that will be at the top of your screen, but in most other versions of PowerPoint it's on the left. And I'm going to go File, Save As, and give it a name. And so I'm going to call this PowerPoint demonstration. So what I'm going to do in this presentation is work through some of these tabs that you can see at the top of the screen there. As I click on each of them, you'll see that something different turns up. It basically opens up different menus. And so using PowerPoint involves navigating your way around the different menus and familiarizing yourself with what is in each. The first one I'm going to show you today is the Insert tab. And you'll see that it basically is exactly what it sounds like. It's for inserting things. And I can, for example, on the Insert tab, insert a new slide. This appears actually on some versions of PowerPoint in different places as well, but it's always on the Insert tab. So I could just click New Slide and it would do it, or I can click on the little down arrow you can see there. And if I do that, you'll see there are different formats of slide that I could insert there. For the purposes of this demonstration though, I'm going to use a blank slide. And also on the insert menu, you can see I can insert a text box. So if I wanted to put writing on my slide, that's how I would do it. So insert text box. And then you can see I can hover on my slide wherever I want to put the text box and click. And a box appears in which I can write my text. And you can see as I hover over the box, little symbols appeared, which allows me to move that to wherever I want on the screen. I'm just clicking on the left side of my mouse and I can move it around. So still on the insert menu, we can also include pictures here. So let's put a picture in. I'm going to use a stock image today. You could use your own pictures if you wanted to. There's lots of different ways to insert pictures, but it's all on the insert picture menu. And because this is about PowerPoint and PowerPoint is used in presentations, I'm going to put in a presentation picture. So if I do a little search for presentations, you can see there's one here that's actually got a PowerPoint going on. So I'll click on that and click Insert. And you can see that's quite a big picture there. So I'm going to resize it. Now it's really important when you're resizing pictures to do it from the corners. You see that little arrow is pointing to the left and the top left there, not the middle. Because if I did it on the middle, I would be changing the ratio of the picture and I would squish everybody up and it would look horrible. So let's not do that. Let's get that back to where it was. What I'm going to do is just undo it. On the Home tab, there's a thing that you can always undo what you've done. So I'm going to resize this from the corners. Again, holding the left side of the mouse and just dragging it down until it's the size I want. And then if I go into the middle of it and I get the kind of four kind of arrows pointing in different directions, I can move that to wherever I want on the slide. The thing about PowerPoint is you can experiment with it, you can mess with it, and that can often help you learn how to use it. So just have a further brief look at the insert menu. Other things you can insert would be things like tables. So here we've got tables and I can just decide how big I want it and put that table in and then just fill in the table in the normal way. Maybe if I just insert another slide down here. Maybe I would want to put in some kind of process chart, because very often in presentations people want to show a process. That's maybe a little bit easier than you think, because on the Smart Art tool there are various process charts or lists that you can use. So let's, for example, think I'm doing a cycle. That would insert that for me, and I could type the text in on the left hand side, and you'll see that is appearing in the cycle. So these are all things that you will find on the insert menu, and again the advice is to play around with it and see what that does for you. Now we're moving on to the Home tab. The Home tab has some things on it that you'll probably find familiar from using things like Word or Google Docs if you use Google. So a lot of formatting things, and you can see here if I click onto my, they're all grayed out right now, but if I click into my text box, these formatting things can come up, and I can, maybe I will change the color of the writing in that way. That doesn't look so good, so I'm going to take it back again. But maybe I might also change the font. So maybe we'll look for Arial on there, just normal Arial, and I'm going to turn that into a bigger size, maybe about 40. And once again, you can see it's not fitting in the box anymore, but I can drag that out, and it will. And I might also want to take that text, and I'm just highlighting it, and you can see here if I want to center it, I can do that. And then also you can do things in here, like for example, you can fill the text box with a particular color, and so you could, maybe I wanted to do that. You'll see on the Home tab you can also do things like bullet points, all the normal things that you'd expect to be able to do. So maybe you don't need to know everything about this. It's a matter of thinking, well, what do I want to do, and then searching around for that. So those are the sorts of things that you will find on the Home tab. So this is where you can make all sorts of changes to the way that your PowerPoint slides look. Now, one thing that some people might want to do is change their slide size. So for example, if you were doing a poster rather than a normal presentation, you go into slide size, you would select custom slide size, and you would then go to the drop down menu there and look for print, and normally you'd be using A3. And so you could then resize that to A3. I won't do that now, but you can resize it to A3, and you can decide whether you want it to be in landscape or portrait. Just work through the menu and it would take you there. But I'm going to assume actually we're just doing a normal PowerPoint presentation right now. Another aspect of the Design tab is it actually, in many versions of PowerPoint, there is this design feature where it will look at your slides and maybe give you some suggested layouts. So maybe I prefer this one, and I can just click on that, and now you can see what's gone wrong with that. I think it looks quite nice, but PowerPoint demonstration now doesn't fit. That's okay though. I can just go on there and I can I pull that out a little bit. Still doesn't fit, and therefore I will change the font to something a little bit smaller, maybe about 44, and now it's looking a little bit better. I think I'd probably want to change the spacing on that, so I'm going to the Home tab and I am going to find the spacing option. It can take it a little while. There we go, line spacing right at the end, change that to 1.5, and maybe that's looking a little bit better. So the point there though is that the design menu gives you options to select PowerPoint's own design styles. One thing I would say though is when you're using pictures like this, it's okay in a title slide, but try to avoid putting too much text on top of pictures. That can make it really difficult to read. So the other thing you can do in the Design tab, if you wish to, if you're not using the kind of pre-formatted design tools, is you can change the background. So I could click on here and I could do solid fill, which would look like that. Or maybe I've decided I'd rather have my picture as a background image, in which case I go background, insert picture, and again I'd find that picture on the stock images. put it in there and see what that looks like. So the thing to bear in mind is it's all about trying things out, experimenting and seeing where that takes you. First of all, I'm just putting a text box in here. It's a horrible joke. The joke is, why did the chickens cross the road? And the answer is because they were free range. I know it's not a great joke, but never mind. It's just for demonstration purposes. So what I'm going to do there, I'm going to animate this slide now. So I go to animations and I've decided it's a chicken. Let's have it fly in. And we'll have it fly in on the click. Yep, that's fine. Like, that'll be fine. Okay, add that. So if I put this into slideshow mode, you can see we've got the slide that says, why do the chickens cross the road? I click the space bar and it says, because they were free range. And those are the basics of PowerPoint. So as I said throughout this video, do experiment with it, try things out. Check out YouTube. YouTube has lots of how-to videos and how to do things. And also the help tab in PowerPoint is actually quite good. You can put things in there and it will show you where to look in the menus to find what you need. So I hope this has been helpful and good luck with your PowerPoint presentation.